If you're struggling with SAT English and don't know where to start, this video is for you. The first thing that you need to do to begin increasing your score is to understand the types of questions that are on the SAT English section. This can be broken down into 4 areas: information, structure, expression, and conventions. The first type of questions test your ability about what a text is saying and how to support a claim with evidence. One example is if a question asks you for the main idea stated by the passage. These questions really rely on your reading comprehension skills, so in order to do well on them, make sure that you're practicing your active reading strategies, which includes reading the question before the passage so you know what to look for, highlighting important phrases in the passage, and skimming actively. Number 2 is structure. And these questions focus on word choice and the ways in which an author's writing conveys meaning. For example, a question in this area might ask you to replace a word in the passage with a similar word, or analyze how a passage's sentences are being organized. To prepare for these, make sure that you're studying your vocab, prefixes, and suffixes so you can identify words and what they mean, and learn to identify some basic rhetorical devices and how they can help convey an author's message. The third type of question is expression, and these questions test you on how you can improve the clarity and effectiveness of a piece of writing. One example would be asking you to choose the best transition to link certain parts of a passage. This section should be the easiest for you guys and doesn't require too much studying. Just make sure that you are able to identify a logical flow of ideas and cut unnecessary parts of a passage. I would also create a list of common transition words that you need to know for these types of questions. Last and the most difficult type of question is conventions, and this includes all the basic punctuation and grammar that you see in standard English. A question in this category would ask you what certain punctuation would logically complete a blank in the passage. To prepare for this section, it's all about memorization. Make a Quizlet of every single form of punctuation and what they can and cannot do, and take practice tests frequently so you know when you're improving. If you're not a native English speaker, this section could be the hardest for you, but one way to quickly improve is to read a bunch of English literature, as a lot of standard English convention is just stuff that you can pick up on after being exposed to the language for long enough. So to summarize, the 4 main types of English questions are information, structure, expression, and convention. Make sure you're improving your active reading, studying your vocab, rhetorical devices, transition words, and punctuation marks. Make sure you take practice tests to assess where you're at, and read English literature frequently so you get a feel for how these concepts are applied in practice. If you need more help preparing, visit the SATcrashcourse.com. We have a library of over 20 practice tests for you to study from, and SAT courses if you need a teacher along the way. And follow for more.